The Financial Times has always seemed to me to be a newspaper of the highest value. And if I'm given a choice of newspaper to read in the morning, the Financial Times will be heading the list because it has very, very good, very thoughtful journalism. And this isn't because I'm particularly interested in economics. And I remember years and years ago being directed to the arts page of the FT as the best arts page available. This is when it was being edited by Curtis, and absolutely, there's no question at all about it, and it continues today. So I want to look at I want to interrogate a piece published today, I think, in the Financial Times by Lamorna Ash, which attempts to grapple with the intersection of youthful political radicalism and Christian religious practice, or religious practice in general. And the article is thoughtful, poetic even, and also, I would argue, muddled. And it confuses earnest searching for spiritual seriousness, mistakes that it confuses anecdote for trend, and too easily sanitizes a form of radicalism that actually deserves significantly more scrutiny. Ash writes movingly about her Lenten attempt to give up alcohol, but her opening gambit already hints at what will become the article's central problem. The turn to religion is portrayed not as a theological reorientation, but as a personal mood board, a sort of spiritual ASOS hall. Try a bit of Lent, try a bit of Quakerism, experiment with a radical Catholic vigil. All of it described beautifully, but what is missing is any sustained engagement with doctrine. She substitutes storytelling, meaning marking, for tradition, ritual for belief, and leaves us with a spirituality that floats somewhere between mindfulness and moral activism. And this is religion not as conviction, but as lifestyle accessory. And there is no problem with the desire to find meaning, but calling that process Christianity while avoiding its metaphysical centre is at best evasive. The meat of the article lies in its romanticisation of the so-called radical Christian left, the Catholic worker houses, the Quaker protests, the Anglican inclusivity. And Ash introduces us to young volunteers, many of whom are politically radical, pacifist, anti-capitalist, deeply embedded in social justice work, all noble aims. But this is the problem. Her tone implies that this form of activism is the true telos, the true goal of the Christian life. It's not. It's one expression. And Christianity is not primarily a social movement. It's a revealed religion centered on the incarnation, the crucifixion, the resurrection of Christ. And to imply that those who quietly pray, wrestle with orthodoxy, or even vote conservative cannot be proper Christians is a lazy binary that does the tradition no justice at all. Moreover, by centering a very narrow progressive political aesthetic, she risks doing exactly what she accuses Farage and others of doing, instrumentalizing Christianity for ideological ends. And that the ideology here happens to be pacifist and progressive doesn't excuse the reductionism. Ash attempts to uptick youth church attendance and a growing interest in Christian ritual, claiming it signals a kind of spiritual reawakening. She reads this as evidence that young people are moving towards radical expressions of Christianity, but this is wishful journalism. The data she cites is fragile, church attendance overall is plummeting, and the recent interest in liturgy and tradition among young people is not a turn to orthodoxy. High church Anglicanism, traditional Catholicism, even orthodoxy are not necessarily the activist left. Indeed, some of the most striking youth movements within Christianity today are those embracing doctrinal conservatism. Think of World on Fire, the resurgence of the Thomist study groups, or the global popularity of figures like Bishop Barron and Jordan Peterson. It's naive, if not misunderstanding, if not misleading, to conflate spiritual seriousness with political radicalism of the left. Ash's romanticism reaches its peak when she describes Catholic worker houses and the communal simplicity of soup and shared mattresses. One cannot fault the compassion, but again, we're not asked to consider whether this is the model or merely a model. There's no room in her essay for those who do not find God in protest, but in sacrament. No vision of Christian charity that works through the NHS, or the family, or the quiet life of service. The danger is subtle but real. Her vision of religion conflates political virtue with theological truth. It's a Marxist vision in feel, but Christian only in costume. In elevating radicalism, she risks excluding the religious ordinary, those who doubt quietly, those who go to Mass without tweeting about it, those who find God not in placards but in prayer, those who got up and went to the liturgy last night in the middle of the night. In the end, Lamorna Ash's piece is lyrical, intelligent and hopeful, and well-timed, but it's intellectually soft. It presents a narrow slice of religious experience as a universal pattern, and it underplays the immense complexity of what it means to be a Christian in modern Britain. Radicalism and religion do not intersect, but they do intersect, but they are not synonymous. And I think she does read as a disservice to pretend otherwise.